Phil Randazzo says after seeing all of the anti-war protests, he wanted to coordinate a rally to support the troops. And the response was more than he ever anticipated. About 2,000 people gathered in a Summerlin parking lot.
My brother's in the Army. He's waiting to go fight the bad guys.
Many military families say they were waiting for an opportunity like this to shout out support for their loved ones.
You know, a lot of people ask me why I started Defending Freedom and the whole concept of it. And, you know, basically it was when the war started back in March of 2003, and I saw these anti-war protests going on, and I thought, you know what? I said, we got to support these kids. I mean, these kids are doing a great job for us. I call them kids because I'm an old guy. But
he's predicting as many as 5,000 people will show up tonight who feel the same way he does.
So I looked at my wife on a Wednesday night and I said, you know, we need to do a pro-troops rally. So the following Wednesday, we had, the paper said about 2,000, Highway Patrol and Metro said we had about 5,500 people. Came to our parking lot right here at our office just to show support for the families, and just an outpouring of success on that. And we raised over $26,000 to send calling cards for the troops. At that time it was very difficult to call and there wasn't a lot of online ability to do that. In April of 2004, Pat Tillman was killed. I'm sure a lot of people have heard the story about Pat Tillman, and I felt inspired to go to his memorial service in San Jose. I just felt like I had to be there. So I flew up to San Jose, went to the memorial. It was a great event. And it just kind of inspired me to do more because I never served in the military. And here's a guy who was a professional football player, just got married and joins the Army and becomes a Ranger, and unfortunately was killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan. And so I felt like I had to do more. So I had the idea of the wristbands, the Defending Freedom wristbands. And I wanted to do something where the guys could wear in their uniform over in Iraq and Afghanistan, anywhere they might be stationed. So I did a camouflage. It was the first camouflage wristband ever done. And so we had that wristband produced. It was kind of neat, and the whole idea and the goal was to send one to every soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, and Coast Guard in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait that are fighting overseas. And so I ordered the first 250, and it was great. We sent those out. We got addresses. We sent those out, and then we kept getting requests for more and more wristbands. And some of even the British troops wanted them. So the 250 turned into 500,000, and then during that whole process, a lot of the family members of someone who was deployed, they wanted a wristband to wear while their husband or son or daughter or whoever was over there fighting. So I designed another wristband that said Defending Freedom on one side and Pray for Our Troops on the other. So the idea was our men and women fighting had one that said Defending Freedom, and the people back home, and the one that I have worn since December of 2004 says Defending Freedom and Pray for Our Troops. So the family members wanted them. So I ordered another 100,000, I think, was the initial run on the Defending Freedom, Pray for Our Troops. We got those, and it just became a huge hit. People just loved wearing them and knowing that their loved one was wearing the identical one over there, and I've gotten emails and notes of just made us feel closer during the deployment. And it's tough. I mean, these family members are apart for sometimes months at a time, even 15 months. So just any sense of feeling closeness to their family member was great, and I was honored to get those emails. So, and then it just kind of took off. I mean, it just celebrities, professional athletes started requesting the wristbands, and of course we sent them out to them. It just exploded, and so at about the same time, some of the military charities had asked me about some of the wristbands to give out, and I thought, you know, it'd be a great fundraiser for these charities to use to donate to do it. So the way I worked the program was I would send the military charity the wristband. They would sell them for $3, and they would keep 100% of the money. So the way it worked was they had a great fundraising tool for free. We shipped them for free. We sent them to them for free. They would sell them at different functions they had or different businesses, and they would keep 100% of the profits. So it was a total win-win for everybody. It was a win-win because I took my charity dollar and turned it into $5 with the charity selling. It was a win for the charity because they got to have a great little thing that was only a couple dollars that people could donate, they could wear proudly, and then the money would go directly to them. Like U-Haul Corporation, great corporation, super at supporting our troops in multiple different ways that people don't even know about. They don't advertise that fact. They sold wristbands at all 1,100 of their locations. So to date, we've donated a little over 300,000 wristbands to U-Haul. U-Haul sells them. They send the money directly to Wounded Warrior Project. So Wounded Warrior Project has made, I think to date, close to $900,000 with the sale of the wristbands, which is just awesome, and we're happy to do that. And U-Haul is great for doing that. In fact, U-Haul even has their own soldier ride truck, which is part of Wounded Warrior Project, and they proudly put the wristband on the soldier riding the bike as well as in the corner and things. So it was kind of a neat deal, and I had an opportunity to go on Fox News in New York.
And Defending Freedom on the other side, defendingfreedom.net. If you buy these things here, of course, all the proceeds go to very great organizations in need that support all of our troops, not just in Iraq and Afghanistan, but all around the world. Right now, though, your guys are going in full force. We have so many soldiers that are in need of help. Talk about that to us.
Well, they do. The families, not only the soldiers coming back need help, and John does a great job with the Wounded Warrior Project, is families back home are suffering, they're sacrificing, they've been without their mothers, fathers, and they need help at home as well. And so that's what a lot of our programs does. We help fund some of these reservists who have left their jobs, taken a 50% pay cut. Families back home deserve a lot of our help as well on that, and that's what our program at defendingfreedom.net does.
Because Fox had done a little spot on the wristbands, and someone in their crowd had one on, and they showed it, and we had like over 20,000 dollars come in for the Wounded Warrior Project. So we, met with John in New York and presented that check. It was just a great experience for me. So, and again, during that other time, we had there was a buzz about some of the stuff we were doing, and one of the military organizations called the Gold Star Families had contacted me. And they're some of the nicest people I've ever met. The Gold Star Families are families that have lost somebody in the war. And one family in particular, Helena and John Lukacs, they had lost their son John, 19-year-old Marine in Iraq, and they wanted to do something special, not just for him, but for all the boys in Nevada. It's been all men who have been killed. To do something to honor them. So she approached some of the politicians here in Nevada, and they said, well, maybe we could do a park bench or a plaque at a post office. And she kind of heard about what we had been doing, and we had an event to honor those families. And so I said, let's try to do something even bigger. So met with Senator John Ensign, and somehow the conversation came up of Red Rock Canyon, which is a beautiful national park, some of the best rock climbing in the world, just a beautiful setting. And we, with a little negotiation, put a beautiful memorial out, and we'll show you the picture of that, honoring every person from the state of Nevada who was killed in Afghanistan and Iraq.